The state of Victoria is heading to the polls on the 24th of November. This is your chance to decide who governs Victoria and to make your voice heard in Victoria's Parliament. Currently, Victoria has a Labor government led by Daniel Andrews, but they're being challenged by Matthew Guy and his Liberal National coalition. However, key seats could fall to the Greens, Reason, or other minor parties or independents. So it's important that you're informed so you can make your voice count. But what if you don't know how the election works? Well, that's okay. We've got you covered. We're about to knock on the doors of Parliament House on Spring Street to find out so you don't have to.
My name's Georgia Crumity and I'm a Democracy Ambassador at the Victorian Electoral Commission. So the Victorian election is where we'll be picking who's running the government. So every 4 years we re-elect government. We re-elect both the upper and the lower house, which you may know as the House of Representatives and the Senate, which are known here as the Legislative Council and the Legislative Assembly. So you'll be voting for members from your district, and the candidates that receive the most amount of members elected to each district will form the government.
These days we tend to talk about four major parties, really. The two most significant parties historically in Australian politics are the Labor Party and the Liberal Party. There are two other key parties that are very well known in the electoral system, one of them being the National Party, which often forms coalition with the Liberals to govern, where in state or federal politics. And the fourth key party is the Greens, which has been an emerging party in the last 2 to 3 decades. So sometimes people might refer to the Greens as part of a crossbench, but I tend to see them these days, particularly in the Legislative Council context, as a significant party in their own right. So the crossbench tends to be made up of either independent members of Parliament, people who don't belong to any particular party, or members of some of the minor parties that have contested the elections.
To vote, there are 3 criteria. You have to be an Australian citizen, you have to be over the age of 18, and you have to be on the electoral roll. So the election is on the 24th of November. If you can't vote on election day, you can go on another day. You can do early voting, which runs in the 2 weeks before the election. So there'll be various centres, less than election day, but still quite a lot of centres open in the 2 weeks before the election. And you can go out and vote then. You can also apply to vote by postal vote. So they'll send you your postal vote at your house and you can send it back. Or you can vote over the telephone. We have telephone assisted voting. So for the state election, you'll be voting both upper and lower house. So the Legislative Council and Legislative Assembly, the red seats and the green seats. And so you'll get 2 ballot papers. So you'll get one for the lower house, and you simply number the boxes 1 to 8 as there are. You have to make sure that you've numbered every single box, 1 being the person that you like the most, 10, 8, 12, however many there are, being the one you like the least. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the order of your preference. It's called preferential voting. The other one is for the upper house, the other ballot you'll get, and they can be quite long for all of the candidates running for the upper house. And you vote either above or below the line. So you're either kind of voting for a party or for candidates. So you vote just marking 1 box above the line, and that's generally voting for a party. Or you vote below the line and you have to do at least 5, although you can do all the way up to however many boxes there are. And that way you're voting for candidates. So you may like a couple of members from one party, but then maybe not the rest, and you want to vote for number 3, 4, 5 in a different party. So you're having a bit more say over where your preferences are going if you're voting below the line versus above the line, where you're sort of letting the party decide where your preferences go.
The basis of our election system is that in the lower house, the Legislative Assembly, it is a preferential vote directly. The candidate says, okay, I want you to vote for me. If you're not voting for me, then I think that you should vote for Party X and then Party Y and then Party D, on the basis of usually what they consider is the similarity of policy positions, important policy positions to their own.
We make sure that every vote counts. So preferential voting means that 1 to 8 thing that you're doing, let's say for the lower house, it means that, let's say the person you voted number 1 doesn't get in. They didn't get enough votes. We go, all right, well, the person you like the most didn't get in. Who do you like the second most? And so we then reallocate your preferences to the next person in line until someone's got a majority. So it means that even if the candidate that you wanted first in line doesn't get in, your vote is still counted.
In the Legislative Council, it's a little bit different because, as I indicated, we have regions, 8 regions that elect 5 members for the one region. And so the basis of that is it is by proportional representation. It is in the Legislative Council a situation where each member needs to get that 16% of votes in to be elected. And then if there is an excess of votes for their party, then it goes to the next person and their ticket. And if there is a further excess of votes, they might be lucky enough to get to a third person. Otherwise, their preferences would go to other parties.
Young people getting involved in the election is really important because candidates and parties are only going to come up with policies that affect people that they know are going to vote. So the overall enrolment rate in Victoria is 96%, but the enrolment rate for young people between the ages of 18 and 25 is only 84.1%. Young people voting means that politicians are going to have to try and earn their votes. And if you're not voting, then you have no say in what's happening and how it affects you.